Hello everyone, we are here at Alona Beach in Panglao in Bohol, the Philippines. We're going to see if this place is worth checking out. We're going to be here on this island and on the main island, so let's go. It's been a while since I've gone scuba diving, and Jeju Air, a South Korean-based airline, has started doing direct flights from Seoul to Bohol. Rumor has it that Bohol has some great scuba diving opportunities, so it seemed logical to jump on a chance to fly down and check it out for myself. And while I do want to highlight some of the negative aspects about the diving industry here, I'm going to be talking about that a little bit later. But for now, we're going to be diving into the fun stuff. Every time I sink into the water, I get the sense that I'm landing on an alien planet, and this was no exception. There was a great variety of sea life and plenty of subjects to capture on film. I'm pretty happy with the footage I got. Apparently, I'm very lucky because I found out that these mantis shrimp are known for punching cameras and breaking them. These things are wild. They can break exoskeletons, shells, and aquarium glass. Their whole biology is out of this world, and reading about it sent me down a big rabbit hole. Just look at their eyes. What is even going on here? On top of that, you got trippy sea slugs, massive hordes of sardines, sharks, and so much more. I don't even know what this thing is, but it looks cool. There were a lot of sea snakes, which I haven't seen much of before, and the way they move through the water is pretty mesmerizing. I probably spent too much time following them around, but I can't help myself. Eels always look funny to me, and who doesn't love a good clownfish sighting? I know you watched Finding Nemo. There's so many really awesome things that you can find here, and if you come for scuba diving, you won't be disappointed. With that being said, the diving here isn't all glitz and glamour. You may notice that you can't throw a rock more than 5 feet on the island without hitting a dive shop, and unfortunately, many of them have a less than stellar reputation. There are some horror stories about their lack of safety standards, and many of them don't seem to have much respect for the ocean that they're exploring. Do some research before booking a dive trip. Palm Divers is a trustworthy shop if you have an SSI certification, but if they're fully booked or you prefer to go the PADI route, they can probably recommend another good shop. Finally, you may notice that there are a lot of places that advertise diving with whale sharks, which sounds awesome on paper, but there's been a lot of criticism about the practice here in the Philippines, and those criticisms sound pretty valid to me. Look into it if it's something you're planning on doing. I won't throw shade at anyone who does it or the shops that engage in it. I understand that people have to make a living too, but it's worth doing a little bit of research so that you can decide for yourself. Maybe scuba diving isn't really your thing and you're more interested in enjoying a relaxing resort or just lounging on the beach. Fortunately, you'll find plenty of options here. Or perhaps you're here with your family. Well, there are many family-friendly spots and activities to keep both kids and parents entertained. If enjoying the nightlife is more your style, then Alona Beach is the place to be. In the evenings, you don't want to miss the fire show. It's really impressive, and you can either book a table in advance or do what I did and arrive early and grab a seat at the bar. Either way, you won't want to miss the spectacle. Then you can go and enjoy the many bars nearby and have yourself a late night well into the morning. If none of that sounds like you and you're just a bitter old twice-divorced Western guy who claims that you prefer Filipino women because they know how to treat a man, don't worry, you're not alone. If you run into my Uncle Jack, say hi to him. Truth be told, you'll eventually realize that there's only so much you can do on Alona Beach. That being said, you're going to want to get yourself some transportation. On the north side of Panglao, you'll find Hinagdanan Cave. This is one of many caves you can explore in Bohol. It's super accessible, which of course means it gets pretty crowded. Still, it's a quick stop and a good place to take a dip. Or maybe it's a bad place and I just have low standards. From here, it was time to ditch Panglao and head to the main island of Bohol to chase some waterfalls and maybe do some cliff diving. About an hour's drive from the cave, you'll eventually find yourself in this area, aimlessly driving around, desperately looking for a waterfall with a name you can't even begin to pronounce. Luckily, a friendly local will eventually see your pathetic attempts at navigation and stop to help. You follow him in your vehicle for a little bit and then embark on a pretty decent trek through the jungle. The whole time you'll be wondering to yourself, is this going to end the same way it did when I took candy from that guy in the white van back in the 4th grade? Sadly, it does not, but that's okay because this place is still almost just as fun. It just has a little less alcohol.
We got Robert here from the Guwaon Waterfalls. He's a guide here. You've been working here for a long time?
7 years.
7 years? And this is your village?
Yes, this is a village.
And this is what you do for a living?
Yes.
You get a lot of people here?
Yes, a lot of tourists.
A lot of tourists? Well, we are here by ourselves, so it doesn't seem like, is it always busy or is this a slow time right now?
It's nice to come for sure. The first tourist will come today.
I'm the first tourist to come today.
Yes.
Nice. Well, I'm very glad that we're here. If you are ever here in this area, definitely check it out and say hi to Robert. He's a really cool guy, super helpful. He'll guide you for whatever you need.
There are a couple of different spots you can cliff dive from. If heights aren't your thing, you can always just relax by the falls or take a refreshing dip in the pool water. Robert was a lifesaver. Wandering around trying to find this place on your own would have taken forever. Not only did he get us here quickly, but he also knew about some other amazing falls nearby that we wouldn't have found otherwise. So if you're planning on visiting, definitely try to connect with him. And trust me, you'll want to make sure you have some extra cash on hand to tip him. He deserves it. You could easily spend the entire day exploring these waterfalls, but Bohol has so much more to offer. I was really excited to see the Tarsier Sanctuary and the iconic Chocolate Hills, but not without a little adventure along the way. First detour, the Loboc Zipline. I was on my way over to the man-made forest. I wasn't planning on stopping off to the zipline, but I was on the way, so I decided to make a quick detour. It's 700 pesos. That'll take you on a cart on this side of the river over to the other side, and then you take the zipline back. It's a zipline like you would expect any other zipline. It's not exactly the most scary thing in the world.
Ready to do some zipping?
Yeah. How was it, Cartman? Totally stupid, dude.
But you do get some really good views of the river and the surrounding areas, and it's a very quick stop off. It's not that far from the road. You can be in and out probably in 15 minutes at most. Maybe if it's a busier day, it might take a little bit longer. But we have a lot on the list to do today, so we're gonna go ahead and get back to the car and make our way over to the man-made forest, unless we have another detour. So let's go. Right now we are in the man-made forest. The man-made forest, they're pretty particularly proud of it. It's cool. You kind of do just drive through it. You will see people in the middle of the road taking pictures, so be cautious of that and try and avoid them. But it's a nice little spot to drive through. There's not really much else to talk about with it. I'm whispering because we're at the Philippine Tarsier Sanctuary. These are small nocturnal primates. You can come here between 8:30 and 3:30, but while you're here, they are sleeping, so you don't want to make a whole lot of noise and wake them up. They are an endangered species. However, the Philippine Tarsier Sanctuary has been servicing to protect them since 1996. It's a really, really great location. Entry fee is $150. It is a very short tour and a very short walk. You can go through probably in about 15 minutes, but the money does go to a good cause. There are a lot of really bad places that do have tarsiers, and I would highly recommend you avoid them. Tarsiers live for about 20 years in their natural habitat, but if they're in captivity, they only live for a few months. They don't do very well. This place, however, does a lot for conservation efforts, and these guys are adorable. Like I said, your money goes to a really good cause, so I would recommend checking it out, and it's a quick visit, but we're going to go ahead and go on to the next spot. These big booby looking things behind me, those are the Chocolate Hills. Now you might be wondering why they're called the Chocolate Hills. They look lush and green right now, but during the dry season, they dry up and turn brown, so they end up looking like chocolate. It costs about 100 pesos to get up here. You have to take a shuttle up here. You can't just drive directly up. It's very interesting how they were formed. Nobody actually really knows. It could have been volcanic activity. They could be old coral reefs. It's still up for debate. There's an estimated 1,260 to about 1,800, depending on who you talk to, but they are definitely a really interesting place if you want to go see some interesting geological formations, get some good landscape photos. I like it. It's worth it. You don't have to spend too much time here. You kind of get the general gist of it. There's also some ATV rides around here, but pretty much every single person that I've talked to said that it's not worth it. Looks pretty boring as far as I'm concerned, so I ended up skipping on it, but you do you. Anyway, we're going to go, I think, do a paddleboard tour. Like most things in life, I tend to get distracted by shiny stuff, and Guwaon Cave is definitely one of those shiny distractions. It's not huge, but totally worth checking out and super easy to get to. Just a heads up though, if you're on the plus side or tall, it is a bit of a squeeze. I'm 6 foot and I felt like I was constantly dodging stalactites and weaving around stalagmites. If you're not super claustrophobic, give it a shot. Just don't forget your helmet, which I should probably be wearing at all times anyway. I gotta crawl super low. I gotta duck and dodge and weave. Good training for a boxer. After that, I finally made it over to the Firefly tour.
All right, there's a lovely sunset tour of the river, and then it ends with the Firefly show. The sunset tour takes about an hour and a half. So far, I find it absolutely lovely. Unfortunately, the camera here is a little bit dark, but it is what it is. We're working with what we got.
I didn't get much footage, mainly because it was dark, but trust me, it's worth checking out. Floating down the river on a paddleboard while fireflies dance around you, yeah, that's a pretty good way to end the day. And speaking of awesome sunsets, don't forget to check out the sunset on the west end of Panglao. Just remember to bring bug spray, unless you feel like getting chewed up. It's a popular spot, so don't expect a private concert, but the views are incredible, and you might even catch some local students serenading the sunset with their guitars. And guess what? They sound pretty good too. Thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you give Bohol a try. Even though I sounded a little negative sometimes, honestly, it's a stunning place with some seriously cool sights, and I wish I could have checked out more of it. There are lots of friendly locals and enough adorable dogs to start a puppy parade. They're everywhere, even at restaurants, just chilling like they own the place. And if they're hanging out that comfortably, you know they're well taken care of. And that's a good reflection on the locals. Until next time, stay curious, stay adventurous, and take care.